Dozens have been killed in floods sweeping through Spain's Valencia region, according to local authorities on Wednesday. This followed torrential rains on Tuesday, which left roads and towns submerged. Videos shared on social media showed people trapped by floodwaters. In some, people climbed trees to avoid being swept away. Other footage showed firefighters rescuing trapped drivers on flooded streets. Valencia's regional leader said some people remained isolated in areas that were, quote, absolutely impossible to reach. The region was put on red alert. Emergency services urged people to avoid any kind of road travel, while trains to Madrid and Barcelona were cancelled. In the worst-hit areas, schools were also closed. The death toll appears to be Europe's worst from flooding since 2021, when almost 200 people died, mainly in Germany. Scientists say extreme weather events in the region are becoming more frequent due to climate change. Meteorologists think the warming of the Mediterranean, which increases water evaporation, plays a key role in making torrential rains more severe.
Erie County, Pennsylvania is nestled between Buffalo, New York, and Cleveland, Ohio. Parts still have a pastoral feel, and folks with family roots in the soil say they're proud of that heritage.
This region in southeastern Erie County was all originally settled as farmland in the early 1800s. Our family in particular started a dairy farm here in 1858.
Brian Young owns Young Family Farm in Wattsburg. He says the 200-acre farm isn't large enough to sustain itself on agriculture alone, and so his family maintains it primarily as a tradition.
So today, this is something we keep alive for our children and for our family legacy and history by growing row crops such as corn and soybeans.
Some, still tied in some way to farming here, told Reuters that their costs are foremost in their mind when it comes to voting in the November 5th, 2024 presidential election. State data estimates there are about 250,000 farmers in Pennsylvania.
We're in Waterford, Pennsylvania this morning. This is our home farm.
Mark Troyer runs a family business that includes managing hundreds of rental properties in Florida, but his roots are here on a family farm. He said rising salaries for staff and rising costs of fuel have hit the business hard.
We've needed to expand our pricing on employees, and it's been pretty difficult. Of course, tractors, you'll see some big equipment here. Everything is more expensive, more, emission standards has taken our tractors and doubled and tripled the cost of them.
These voters and their voices may matter because Erie County is something of a bellwether and a crucial swing state. Republican President Donald Trump won Erie County in 2016. 4 years later, the county voted for Democratic President Joe Biden. In both those contests, the winner in Erie County also won the state of Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania is seen as a must-win state by both Democratic and Republican presidential campaigns. People like Troyer and Young cheered the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act signed into law by Trump in 2017. They want to see some of those temporary cuts extended beyond 2024.
Our direct hope is tax. Honestly, tax cuts that already occurred. We want the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act to continue.
The Congressional Budget Office has estimated that extending the taxpayer-favorable TCJA provisions would add $4.6 trillion to the national debt over the next decade. And pro-Trump views rub up against competing ideas here in Erie County. Lisa Gross supports Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris, despite her neighbor's preference for Donald Trump.
I think that she's going to be a great choice. I think everybody should think what they're doing. He doesn't care. He doesn't care one way or the other about who lives or dies and who prospers and who doesn't. And I feel that she does, and that's why I'm voting for Kamala.
The latest Reuters Ipsos poll shows Harris and Trump effectively tied nationally.
Stellantis endured a bumpy ride in the third quarter as revenue fell 27%. The automaker blamed reduced shipments and lower pricing power. It posted revenues of $35.8 billion, which slightly beat analyst expectations. The better-than-expected results pleased investors and shares rose 2.4% on Thursday. Stellantis said shipments fell just over a fifth to 1.17 million vehicles and cited gaps in the product lineup as the main driver of the decline. But the company said it was still on track to launch approximately 20 new models this year. It also said inventory reduction in the US is running at a faster rate than expected. The auto giant wants to fix bloated inventories and poor commercial performance that led to its profit warning last month. Stellantis' specific problems have combined with broader struggles for Western automakers. They include soft global demand, especially for electric vehicles, and tech transition challenges. They also face more competition from Chinese rivals. Europe's biggest automaker Volkswagen is assessing plans to shut at least 3 factories in Germany. It's also weighing whether to lay off tens of thousands of staff. Stellantis shares have lost about 40% of their value this year. The auto giant confirmed Thursday its recently reduced full-year results guidance after it posted a 40% decline in adjusted operating income in the first half.